Hi, my name is Gopal Jayanti. I work for OpsMx. Today I'm going to show you Argonaut, an application written in Python. This is my Python code, which I developed in Visual Studio. And this is a program that uses GPT 4.1. And it instead of working with a web browser and taking the user input from a web browser, it takes input from a channel in Slack, for example, like this channel, ChatGPT channel, and a user can ask questions like this, for example, application Argo application. This is the name of the application is degraded. So basically, it can solve issues that are related to Argo CD. So here is my Argo CD. So as you can see in this Argo CD, there is this application called the same application, Test App Health Notification Debug. And in this, by this red sign, it shows that this particular job has failed, and because this pod has failed. So I'm going to show you how it solves this issue or discovers this issue and lets the user know what is going on. And back to the Python code, here there are two ways it can be run: auto run, where it can run the commands by itself to debug the issue, and if it is set to false, then it wants the user to decide whether to run the commands or not. I'll show you with false in the first iteration. In the second iteration, I'll show you the difference with auto run equal to true. So I know now that this application is in degraded state. This is the app health. It's showing as degraded, and this is a known issue. I have purposefully made this fail by in the YAML file for the job. I've given this uh, 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 asked it to run this command. So this exit one makes it fail. So this is for a known issue. And later I'll show you for another application where the issue is not so obvious. I have not created the issue. So I'm going to go to Slack. Since it takes inputs from Slack, I'm going to say this application and the application name, and it's degraded. So this is the user input I'm going to give. And immediately I get a reply from um, from my Argonaut. This is version 2.0. 1.0 has already been published and on YouTube. This is a new and improved version of it. All these interactions and the conversation between the user um, and the LLM are recorded in Elasticsearch, which I'm using as a vector database. So it sends this message to LLM that the application is degraded. So here, and what it says, the LLM has given me a comment saying that check the Argo CD application status and recent events, and for that it has recommended this command. So I can run this command by simply typing run in Slack. So when I do run, there's an agent behind that runs commands, and it has run the command, and the command is getting the application. So the application, this is the application name. It is running in this cluster, and it's saying that there is a job, and the job is degraded. So that's what that command has discovered. Now, after seeing this output, the LLM has given new comments and a new command. The new comment say that to get the recent events uh, of this job. So what I can do is I can do run here. It'll try to get the events for that job. So and it could not get any information from there because there were no events there. See, it recognized that it had to use the kube config of that cluster. the cluster on which this application was running, which is called the dev cluster. So now it wants to run this command and get the logs of the job and see if it can find any errors. So I'm going to run that command, and it didn't find anything. So now what it wants to do is get the pods of that correspond to that job. So I'm going to hit run there, and it's going to run that command. So it has run that command, and it is saying that describe the failed job is a new comment it's saying, and it's given me the command for this. So this can be used to train people so that they understand how to debug and how to learn the commands. And get the four jobs full description. So here I'm going to do run again. So this is it got the description of the pod, and then what it's saying is that the reason for degraded status is a jobs pod ran the command echo hi sleep 3 exit 1, which always exits with code 1, causing the pod to fail. Reason error. So this is expected behavior based on the command specified in the job. If you want the job to succeed, you should update the command to exit with code 0. So it has provided a solution for me. It has run all these commands, analyzed, and given me a result for this. And all this conversation has been stored in Elasticsearch. I can just refresh here. See, all the conversation has been stored in Elasticsearch, which can be later used to train other models. So you can set up a local model and use this to train. So any questions so far, Rahul?
No, Gopal.
So here the user had to run commands by typing run here. I can run other commands also. I can run a command like Argo CD version. If I want to run other commands, I can type them like this, and I would get the output for that. Like that. So I can run command. The user can also run commands from Slack itself, or if the user chooses to run the recommended command by LLM, they just type run. So this is how you do it without auto run. Now I'm going to use auto run is true. So when auto run is true, then what happens is that the user doesn't have to hit run every time. The application Argonaut 2.0 itself will run the application, run all the commands, and find out what is wrong with the application. So I'm going to this also can this Argonaut can be deployed using Argo CD. So I'm going to refresh. This is the name of the Argo CD application. It is right now syncing, and I'm waiting for a new pod to come up. There it goes. That is a new pod that has come up. I'll wait for the old pod to go away. The old pod is going away. So now auto run is true. So now I'm going to go back to Slack, and I'm going to give the same prompt. So instead of giving the prompt from a web browser, I'm giving the prompt from a Slack channel. So I'm going to give the same prompt, but this time, since auto run is true, I won't run all those commands. See, it's going to reply like this, and here's where I can follow the conversations, see, just like last time. So now it is running all the commands itself, and proceed. And now it has recommended this command and ran this command. So it will run all the commands, and once it finds out what is wrong with that application, it will give me a summary. So I don't have to run everything all the time. I don't have to do RUN all the time. So, and it has resolved the issue. This suggests that the main process exited with a non-zero code, or the job spec is further troubleshooting would require reviewing the job manifest or the command's entry point. So it has correctly diagnosed that the command or the entry point was the issue. So here the command was the issue. So it identified the command all by itself. So this was an issue I created, and this was a known issue. Now I'm going to ask it to debug another application, which is I'm going to see this application. So this application is also degraded. This I have not created the issue. The issue occurred all by itself. So here I'm going to go back to Slack and say instead of this application, I'll put that application's name backstage, and with the auto run still set to true, I'm going to hit send now button, and it's and let's see how it works out. So I can follow this conversation at this Elasticsearch URL. So this is a URL. So there is a system message and the user message. This is the user message I sent. So it's doing all kinds of commands and replies, and finally it's come up with this result for me. What it is saying is that the Argo CD application backstage is in degraded and out of sync stage. Investigation showed that no resources exist, and there is no relevant message. The application resource is reported as degraded, but it does not actually exist in the cluster, indicating a likely failure during resource creation. This could be used due to missing or invalid manifest fields or failed sync operation. So it is recommended to check Argo CD UI for this. So that's how it resolved that issue. So it's saying that indeed during resource creation there is some kind of a failure. Please find out. I can ask it further questions to zero in. Please find out which pod is not in ready state. I can ask further questions. So if I think the AI hasn't fully resolved it, that I can ask further questions in plain English, and it will figure out the answer. So investigation revealed that no pods exist. So that is the main issue. So that's how it resolved that issue. So let me go to another application, another example. Let me take another application which is in, let's say, degraded state. Let's say this is the application. So I'm going to copy this application name and see what's happening with this application. So I can go here and say application control V is degraded. So instantly I get a reply where I can follow the conversation, and within about a minute or so, I'll get see, this is the result. This is the input I have given, and it's running this command Argo CD app get this. And if I refresh this, I'll see that it got the output, and it's asking to look at this particular pod disruption budget, which was deployed by that application. See this pod disruption budget, and it's come up with a summary. I can look at the summary, or I can look at the conversation and figure out what's going on. And the summary is that this Argo CD application is reported as degraded, and investigation showed that pod disruption budget uh, for for this application has minimum available set to 3, with 3 pods currently running and available. The pod status shows our allowed disruptions is 0, which is expected when the number of pods matches the minimum number required. There are no errors or events indicating a problem. The degraded status is due to PDB being unable to allow any pod disruptions at this time, which is normal and not an error. Unless you need to evict a pod, no further action is required. So this is actually truly a bug in Argo CD, and it is correctly identified that there is a bug in Argo CD, and that the user doesn't have to do anything else here. So that's how Argonaut 2.0 discovers issues for applications of Argo CD and gives a user a summary which is actionable. And if nothing is wrong, it will tell you that also. So that this will help users debug issues quickly and run commands locally, and suppose another user like Rahul here can come and run his commands here, or run his is this really true? He can ask other questions. Other people can collaborate in the same channel and continue this conversation and find out what is going on. Yeah. So that is how Argonaut 2.0 works. Please like this video and subscribe to OpsMx channel. And thank you for your support.